Okay, so as I was saying, even the antheridium also we started multinucleate, and then on maturity only one will survive, all will degenerate, and the one who survives, they will undergo meiosis to form haploid nuclei, 4 of them. Okay, so before fertilization, a fertilization tube develops by the antheridium at the contact wall of the oogonium, through which one of the male nuclei pass and fertilize the egg. So we already saw in that image, remember, there was a fertilization tube. Okay, and then 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 3, and this fourth one, it will travel, okay, through this tube, and it will meet the egg. Okay, the fertilized oosphere develops into a thick wall smooth oospore or zygote. Okay, so the zygote has a very thick wall. Okay, then the oospore will germinate after resting. So the zygote, it will grow and germinate after resting for some time. Okay, so let's see how the oospore will germinate. Okay, the oospore germination depends on the variation of the environmental temperature. Okay, so for fungus, how the oospore germinates or how the zygote germinates depends on the environmental temperature. Let's see if the temperature is high. Okay, like now, the month of June, at 28 degrees Celsius, the oospore will germinate by a germ tube. Okay. Okay, so here when the temperature is high, okay, you follow this line. This zygote, oospore or zygote, okay, if the temperature is high, it will form a germ tube at the top, and then it will develop into your matured hypha, okay, your mycelium. Okay, that's great, that's done. Now let's look when the temperature is low. Okay, let's say during December. At low temperature, when the temperature is between 10 to 17 degrees Celsius, the germ tube elongate at a length of 5 to 20 micron, then swell up at the tip and form a vesicle in which zoospore develop. So, if the temperature is low, it goes into what mode? Vegetative reproduction mode. Okay, it will develop the zoospore. Remember, in asexual reproduction, we saw the zoospores formation. So it will swell at the tip and form a vesicle. Then inside the vesicle, zoospore cleavage happen in those multinucleate. Then from cleavage, and those zoospores develop. Remember, then the zoospore will come out of the vesicle. Then they swim. Then they burst. Then they swim. Then they become encysted. Okay. Then they rest, and then again they develop. So it's just like your asexual reproduction. If you follow this line, okay, when the temperature is low, you are getting this vesicle form. Okay, let's look first. Then this is from the zygote. From the zygote, one small germ tube came out, vesicle form at the tip, then cleavage happened, the wall form. Okay, then the zoospore form, then they develop the flagella, they come out of it, of the vesicle. Then the zoospore will swim for some time, then it will rest and cover itself. Okay, encysted means covering. Then it will produce a small germ tube and then develop into the mature hypha. Okay, so this one is very much same with this one. Okay, you are seeing, it's exactly the same. So if you know this diagram, you already know what happened to the zygote on the low temperature. Okay. So these are some Indian species, and with this, the life cycle is completed. Now, when you draw suppose they ask you the question, describe the asexual cycle of pythium species of Pythium dibarinum. So what you do is you've written, you've given the heading asexual reproduction, okay, of Pythium. You underline it, then you give point number 1. Then you wrote, then the multinucleate hypha will produce a vesicle at the tip or at the intercalary position. Then number 2 you write, then the wall formation or the cleavage happens or the wall formation happened inside the vesicle, which was multinucleate, to produce zoospore. Then number 3 you wrote, the zoospores, they will mature and develop a flagella, okay, from the concave part of their their structure. Then you wrote point number 4. Then point number 4, the vesicle ruptures to release the zoospore. Then you will write, the zoospore will swim and it will rest and encapsulate itself. Then you write point number 6, the encapsulated zoospore will produce a germ tube and develop into mature hypha. So you've done all the points. You only 6 points needed. After that, you will draw this diagram, this one. After that, you will draw this diagram starting from here. Starting from here, you will draw the diagram. Then below, you will write figure ... a sexual reproduction in pythium species, okay, or pythium dibarianum, right? What you will write below the image, you'll write figure, a sexual reproduction in pythium species. Then you underline the word pythium, okay? So I think you understand. Similarly, with sexual reproduction, you have written all these points. No, you have written all these points. This one, this happened, then this has happened. You wrote in point wise. No, maybe 10 to 14 points you've written. Then you draw this diagram. You starting from here, you draw all those diagram. Okay. Then you will write figure. So starting from there, you have drawn all this diagram. Then you will write figure. Simply sexual reproduction in pythium species. Okay, I'm right properly. Figure, you will write sexual reproduction in pythium species. Okay. I've written short, no, but you write a complete sentence, Ken, because I'm using my fingers, it's difficult. So I think it's easy now. You know how to answer and you know how to write also. So if they ask you the life cycle, simply in the first page, you draw this whole image. In the life cycle, no, you draw this whole thing. From up there till down here, you draw the whole thing. And then you give very short points. You write asexual reproduction, ... Oh no, first you start with vegetative structure, no? Then it is multinucleated, but when it matures, it forms septa and all, no? Then you write Indian species. There are 98 species in the world and 28 species in India, okay? Then you go for asexual reproduction. You write those six points. Then you go number 3 here, sexual reproduction. Give ... You write, okay, maybe 15 points, okay? 10 to 15 points. So you can always shorten it, okay?